Listen closely. Right now, there are movements happening around you that you cannot see with the naked eye. Something is shifting in silence. People may think your life looks ordinary, but in the spirit, a divine relocation is being prepared. Not relocation in the way the world thinks. Not just a physical move, but a positioning, an assignment, a new chapter of destiny. And the reason you've been feeling restless, the reason doors seem to close, and the reason you've been pulled away from certain people is because heaven is arranging something greater. Yes, you, the one who has walked through fire, the one who has survived attacks that would have destroyed others, the one who has been misjudged, misunderstood, and even counted out. You are about to be picked up by a higher hand and placed in a new season, where your influence, your resources, and your voice will echo louder than ever before. Chosen ones. This is why your life has felt like constant transition. It hasn't been random. It hasn't been punishment. It has been preparation. Because before elevation, there is always separation. Think about Joseph. He was betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and later locked in a prison for something he didn't even do. From the outside, it looked like loss after loss, but each of those losses was simply moving him closer to his assignment. His relocation wasn't comfortable, it wasn't glamorous, but it was necessary, because without it, he would never have ended up in Pharaoh's palace, positioned to save a nation. That's what's happening in your life. The palace is calling you, and the pit was only the first step. Don't curse the pit. Don't mourn. The prison, every painful place was a transportation point. Every closed door was heaven redirecting your steps. Because chosen ones don't just wander, they are placed. And that's why people have been watching you more closely than you realize. Some with admiration, some with suspicion, some even with envy. They can sense something unusual about you. They don't know how to explain it, but they know your presence carries weight. Even in silence, you're being observed, because in the spirit, your life is under divine surveillance. Every detail is aligned to get you where you need to be. And here's the part that feels uncomfortable. You can't take everyone with you. That's why certain friendships are falling apart. That's why the people you thought would always be there suddenly feel distant. It's not betrayal, it's pruning, because where you're going, the atmosphere must be pure. If Joseph's brothers had followed him to Egypt as friends, they would have ruined the assignment. If Lot had stayed with Abraham, he would have poisoned the blessing. Some separations are painful but necessary. So right now, the Spirit is removing attachments, and some of you are fighting it, clinging to relationships that have expired, crying over doors that heaven itself has locked. But listen, the very hand that closes those doors is the same hand preparing the open one. Because relocation isn't just about where you are going. It's also about who you cannot go with, chosen one. This is why your spirit feels unsettled where you are. It's not depression, it's not confusion, it's divine discontent. It's heaven whispering, "Don't settle here, I'm moving you." And the more you try to settle, the more uncomfortable it feels. Because eagles are never meant to live like chickens, and lions can never stay satisfied in cages. That ache in your chest, that longing for more, is proof you're on the edge of a transition. And while others may not see it, the atmosphere around you is already shifting. Look closely and you'll notice strange opportunities, unexpected connections, even sudden challenges that seem to push you out of comfort zones. These are signs, because every relocation comes disguised. Joseph's relocation looked like betrayal, Moses' relocation looked like exile. Ruth's relocation looked like widowhood. But every disguise carried hidden destiny. Right now, someone is being positioned to notice you. Someone with keys, someone with authority, someone with the influence to shift your placement. You don't have to chase them, because when heaven has written your name on an assignment, your steps will collide. And when that moment comes, it will feel like everything you've endured finally makes sense. But hear this, the relocation isn't just about blessing you. It's about placing you where your gift can serve others, because chosen ones are never relocated for selfish gain. Joseph wasn't placed in the palace just to wear a crown. He was placed there to save a people. Esther wasn't crowned queen just for luxury. She was positioned to intercede for her nation. That's the true meaning of relocation, to step into a place where your life becomes an answer. And this is why the warfare against you has been so fierce. The enemy isn't afraid of where you've been. He's terrified of where you're going. That's why you've felt resistance in every step. That's why the attacks seem to intensify the moment you decided to walk in purpose. Because darkness always fights relocation. But here's the truth, it cannot stop it. What heaven has marked cannot be erased. What is written cannot be unwritten. So prepare yourself. Pack not your bags, but your spirit. Detach from what cannot come. Open your eyes to the subtle signs of divine orchestration, because the relocation is closer than you think. And when it happens, it won't just be a small shift. It will be a defining move, one that sets the course for years to come. You may feel hidden now. You may feel overlooked, but chosen ones are never forgotten. And when the time is right, the same God who raised Joseph from the prison, the same God who brought David from the field, the same God who lifted Esther from obscurity, is about to lift you. Not randomly, not by chance, but intentionally, strategically, divinely, because greater destiny is waiting, and you're being moved right into it. But here is the mystery. Relocation doesn't always begin with an open door. Sometimes it begins with a disruption. Sometimes it comes in the form of sudden loss, sudden change, sudden silence from the people you thought were permanent in your life. The reason it feels like the ground is shaking beneath you is because the old foundation is being removed. You cannot build the next season on the same soil as the last. The Spirit is clearing the land for construction, and you are the temple being moved into its rightful place. That's why some of you have been feeling misunderstood lately. People close to you can't recognize what's happening because they only see the surface. They see the frustration, they see the tiredness, they see the sudden distance you've created, but they don't see the hand of God rearranging your steps. And because they can't see it, they mislabel it. They call it selfishness, they call it pride, they call it change. But what they don't know is that heaven calls it positioning, and while they're busy questioning your steps, something powerful is happening in silence. A contact, a higher level connection, is being prepared. Someone you don't even know yet has already been instructed to carry a role in your destiny. Think of Pharaoh's cupbearer, who suddenly remembered Joseph at the perfect time. Think of Boaz, who noticed Ruth working in the field. Think of Samuel, who was sent to anoint David in secret. These weren't random encounters, they were orchestrated relocations. And yours is next. The very people who overlooked you will be shocked when they see who recognizes you. The same ones who doubted your worth will be forced to watch as heaven puts your name in the mouth of kings, leaders, decision makers, and influencers. That's why the silence has been so loud, because something louder is being prepared. But you must be ready, because relocation always demands obedience. When the call comes, you cannot hesitate. Imagine if Abraham had said no when God told him to leave his father's house. Imagine if Moses had refused to go back to Egypt. Imagine if Esther had remained silent when her people were in danger. Each relocation moment carried a risk, but also a reward. The risk was leaving behind comfort. The reward was stepping into destiny. And here's the truth many miss. Relocation doesn't just bless you, it shifts your entire bloodline. When Joseph was elevated, his whole family survived famine. When Ruth relocated, she became part of the lineage of kings. When Abraham obeyed, nations were born from him. Your relocation isn't just about you, it's about everyone connected to your name. That's why the warfare has been so heavy, because if the enemy can block you, he blocks generations. But if you move, you open doors for those after you. This is why your enemies are restless. They can feel it. They can sense that you're about to step into something bigger than they ever imagined. That's why they've been trying to pull you back into drama, into distractions, into old cycles. They know that if you move, you'll leave them behind. They know that once heaven relocates you, their influence over you will break completely. But listen, you don't have to fight them. You don't have to prove anything. Because relocation is not something man can control. It's divine. When God moves you, no hand can stop it. No lie can block it. No enemy can delay it. The shift is spiritual, and once it is written in heaven, the earth must obey. Right now, someone is listening who feels weary. You've been waiting for so long. You've been asking, when will it be my turn? You've seen others elevated, others celebrated, and you wonder if heaven has forgotten your name. But hear me. Your relocation requires perfect timing. If Joseph had been released from prison earlier, he would have returned to obscurity. But because he was released at the exact time Pharaoh had a dream, he stepped straight into destiny. Timing is everything, and your time is aligning now. And when the relocation happens, it will not be gradual, it will be sudden. One day overlooked, the next day chosen. One day in the shadows, the next day in the spotlight. One day struggling, the next day walking into provision. That's the pattern of divine relocation. Sudden, undeniable, irreversible. So prepare yourself now. Guard your spirit. Protect your focus. The enemy wants you distracted so you miss the signs, but chosen ones must stay awake. Pray in silence. Keep your oil full. Walk with humility, because when the call comes, it will require your immediate yes. And don't be afraid if the new place looks unfamiliar. Every relocation feels foreign at first. Joseph had never seen a palace. Esther had never imagined herself as a queen. David had never worn a crown. But they adjusted, because destiny teaches you quickly. Don't let fear make you run back to the familiar. What is unfamiliar now will soon feel like home, because you were created for it. Your life is not random. Every twist, every setback, every moment of silence has been leading here. The sleepless nights, the unanswered prayers, the doors that closed in your face, all of it has been shaping you, preparing you for this next move. And when it comes, you'll realize none of it was wasted. This relocation isn't just about greater destiny, it's about divine alignment. You're being placed where your gift matches the need, where your voice matches the audience, where your presence breaks chains. That's why you've been hidden. That's why you've been preserved. Because when you step into this place, you won't just occupy space, you'll transform it. Chosen one, lift your head, dry your tears. The silence has lasted long enough. The warfare has tried to break you, but you endured. And now, like an arrow pulled back, you are about to be launched forward. Relocation isn't coming, it's here. You're about to walk into it, not by might, not by power, but by divine instruction. And when you do, remember this: it wasn't just for you. It was for everyone connected to your obedience. Your family, your community, your generation. Because when a chosen one is relocated, entire destinies shift. So get ready. The move is already in motion. The high-level contact is already assigned. The divine doors are already unlocking. You are about to be relocated into greater destiny.